Have you read the things he said about you?
No.
He said working with Denzel was a sort of lifetime dream, and he said you're just about the best actor going. And the problem that brought for him working with you was that sometimes when he was in a scene, he would forget to act and he would sit there and be watching you acting.
Oh, is that what it was?
He would get...
I just thought he was terrible.
I think that he wants to win no matter what. He was willing to do whatever it takes to win. He didn't care who he stepped on, who he killed, who he would act like a little girl if he needed to. He'd turn around and chop snap your neck off, You're everyday guy.
Denzel Washington just made it clear that he couldn't care less about Ryan Reynolds and the Dragon. And guys, Ryan is super embarrassed. The man is straight up losing it because Denzel didn't just say he's not a fan of Ryan.
Just anything I could do to manipulate him, to intimidate him.
Keep him off balance.
Keep him off balance. And I wasn't there to teach him, I was there to...
He outright said he would never work with him because, get this, he thinks Ryan is a terrible actor. Guys, imagine someone you look up to telling you they don't think you're all that and acting like they'd rather retire than spend 5 minutes in the same studio with you. It has to be shocking and embarrassing for Ryan because y'all know the industry doesn't play when it comes to Denzel. Plus, with all the It Ends With Us drama going on, the last thing Ryan needs is for a certified industry OG to tell the world he's just not that guy. And the worst part? Denzel isn't the only one who feels this way. So, is Ryan losing his grip on the industry? Why are all these celebrities suddenly exposing him? Have they secretly hated him all along and are just now speaking up? Let's get to the bottom of this. Okay, so Ryan Reynolds is the poster boy for being charming, witty, funny, and charismatic. In Hollywood, he's one of those actors guaranteed to bring in a crowd whenever he appears in a movie or TV show. Just look at how well the Deadpool franchise is done. Now, you'd think someone as successful and famous as Ryan would be the most confident person ever. And with his good guy persona on screen, you'd at least expect him to be a decent person, even if he's not Mr. Nice Guy 24/7. But come to find out, Ryan is the exact opposite of all this. While some actors, producers, and other industry insiders might have no choice but to put up with Ryan's nasty attitude, some don't. And one person who has never hidden his disgust for Ryan's attitude is Denzel Washington. The beef between Ryan and Denzel goes all the way back to 2012 when they were promoting Safe House. While Ryan was gushing about working with his idol Denzel Washington, let's just say Denzel wasn't exactly thrilled. Ryan was in full fanboy mode, excited about doing stunts with Denzel. You could really sense that Denzel was Ryan's idol.
When you end up in a movie like that, when you find out that you're working with Ben Kingsley or you're working with Denzel, does that change your perspective going into something? Because obviously you did Safe House with Denzel.
Yeah, Denzel is slightly different because I've never seen an energy like that before. I mean, he's a guy that he can, with a blink, he can occupy every square inch of a room if he wants. And just like that, he could vanish.
However, Denzel was just not feeling great about working with Ryan. And y'all know when Denzel wants to cut somebody down, he does it without mercy. Denzel even got a black eye from Ryan while filming a fight scene in the movie. He later recalled that it was the first time he had ever gotten a black eye.
In fact, in the movie, he has an amazing fight. He gave me a black eye as well.
As a leaving gift.
I'm not really sure how Ryan expected Denzel to be on good terms with him after treating him like that. But it wasn't until his appearance on the Jonathan Ross show that Denzel finally decided to share his true opinion on Ryan's acting skills. And trust me, he didn't hold back.
Have you read the things he said about you?
No.
He said working with Denzel was a sort of lifetime dream, and he said you're just about the best actor going. And the problem that brought for him working with you was that sometimes when he was in a scene, he would forget to act and he would sit there and be watching you acting.
Oh, is that what it was?
He would get...
I just thought he was terrible.
Guys, I don't really know how Denzel can deliver brutal lines like that with a straight face, but it looks like nobody else expected it either. I mean, just look at Tom Hardy and Keira Knightley's faces. You could probably chalk it up to Denzel's dry sense of humor if this was the only time he had said something like this. But no, it wasn't. When you see all the times Denzel has straight up put Ryan on blast, you might even start wondering if Denzel just hates the GUI'd I. In another interview, the host asked Denzel about working with Ryan, and Denzel couldn't even be bothered to come up with the usual Hollywood platitudes. A little, "Oh, he's a nice guy, good actor" would have gone a long way. Instead, Denzel just sat there in awkward silence, waiting for the interviewer to take the hint and move on to the next topic. Honestly, it would be funny if it wasn't so painfully awkward. Like, y'all know these actors are trained in the art of giving false compliments. Don't like your co-star? No problem. Just flip through the Hollywood book of false praise and pick out 1 or 2 empty statements. But Denzel, oh, he didn't take the easy way out. And the thing with Denzel is that if he doesn't like you, you'll know it. And if he does like you, he'll sing your praises to the heavens. We've seen how he behaves with his actual friends in the industry: Viola Davis, Chadwick Boseman, Samuel L. Jackson. The man is not afraid to show his friends love openly and loudly.
Samuel L. Jackson, where are you? Oh! Samuel L. Jackson. Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
You can even feel the difference when Denzel doesn't really like someone but still respects them. But with Ryan, there's no sense of whether Denzel likes or respects him. There's nothing there at all. Now, you might chalk it up to Denzel just not feeling Ryan because their personalities don't match. You know, Ryan is all about being carefree and goofy, while Denzel can come across as intense and serious. But it's not that simple. In fact, many other big names in the industry have dropped hints about how they really feel about Ryan. And believe me, it's not all roses and rainbows. See, Ryan has worked on some hit projects in his time. Everyone loves Deadpool, the sarcasm, the wit, the action, the drama. What's not to love? Plus, Ryan is a certified moneymaker, not just at the box office, but in other ventures too. Mint Mobile, Aviation Gin, and even a soccer team. He's booked and busy, that's for sure, and that definitely counts for something. But the real question is, does Hollywood respect Ryan? The answer might shock you. If you ask many Hollywood elites, they'll probably tell you that Ryan is, at best, a necessary evil. Take Quentin Tarantino, for example. Quentin is one of the most influential figures in Hollywood, and like it or not, he knows a lot about the inner workings of the industry. His word holds a lot of weight. So when he says he doesn't respect Ryan's work, best believe people are listening and taking notes. Quentin was once asked in an interview what he thought about Ryan's work, and let's just say, he didn't have many good things to say. According to him, Ryan may be making smash hit after smash hit at the box office, but at the end of the day, his work lacks true substance. I don't know what any of those movies are. I've never seen them. Have you? I haven't ever talked to Ryan Reynolds' agents, but his agent is like, well, it costs $50 million. Well, good for him that he's making so much money, but those movies don't exist in the zeitgeist. It's almost like they don't even exist. Ouch. Speaking of people who don't respect Ryan Reynolds' career, we have to talk about the nasty reaction Gerard Butler once gave Ryan during an interview. So here's what went down. An interviewer asked Gerard to compare one of his 2009 movies, Gamer, to Ryan's action flick, Free Guy. And things got shady real fast. Gerard didn't even try to soften the blow. He straight up admitted that he doesn't even watch Ryan's movies. And the way he said it, like he was insulted at the idea that someone would compare his work to Ryan's. But wait, it gets even worse. Y'all might have seen and loved Deadpool 2, but not many people know about the drama that went down behind the scenes. What do you do when the producer of a smash hit movie decides to walk away from the project just as it's shaping up to become one of the biggest franchises? Because this is exactly what happened with Tim Miller and Deadpool 2.
And would I work with him again? No.
No.
I would not work with him
That
again.
much vitriol.
But I've said that about Michael Bay, and now we're friends, and I would work with him again. But I think Michael Bay is different. And Michael Bay worked on a movie with Ryan Reynolds also. And so he has a very specific opinion
That made me
of Ryan Reynolds. And that was a good part of our last conversation with me and Bay. But I sort of wish him well because he's so good at Deadpool. And I think it's weird that he hates me.
The first Deadpool movie was a massive success, and the second one was supposed to be even bigger and better. But to everyone's shock, Tim Miller decided to walk away from the project right in the middle of it. And of course, it all comes back to Ryan Reynolds. Apparently, Ryan was doing way too much when it came to the creative direction of the movie. Obviously, he's the star of the show, so it was only natural for Fox to allow him some control over the creative process. However, Ryan wasn't okay with just some control. He wanted to take over the whole thing and effectively push Tim Miller to the back seat. It became clear that Ryan wanted to be in control of the franchise. Tim said, "You can work that way as a director quite successfully, but I can't. I don't mind having a debate, but if I can't win, I don't want to play. And I don't think you can negotiate every creative decision. There are too many to make." According to reports, Tim and Ryan clashed so badly that at some point, Tim was just like, "This isn't worth it," and left the project. You know what this sounds like? It sounds exactly like what's currently going down between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. From the start, it was clear that Blake was trying to run the show. And if you've read the text messages and the lawsuits, you can see that Justin tried his best to accommodate her suggestions, even when she was clearly crossing boundaries.
Start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. And I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short. And you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing.
I mean, how many directors would tolerate their star actress editing the movie script without their consent, and then trying to guilt-trip them into accepting the changes? And it wasn't just little touch-ups here and there. Blake was literally rewriting some of the most important parts of the movie. Remember the iconic rooftop scene? Yeah. Blake allegedly revised the entire scene without consulting Justin. As if that wasn't bad enough, she also allowed Ryan and her best friend, Taylor Swift, to work on the movie. T.O. adds salt to the wound. Blake pulled the "I'm more famous and richer than you, and I have powerful people in my corner as well" card. I mean, seriously, Kesey Dragons. Blake needs to be for real right now. That IT Ends With Us was supposed to be the movie that shot Blake back into the spotlight. It was supposed to be her big moment. However, the bad press completely overshadowed the movie from day one. Let's start with the casting. When it was announced that Blake was going to play the lead female role, fans of the book were not happy. Lily Bloom was supposed to be a fresh-faced 20-something who had just graduated college. Fans were confused about how Blake was going to fit the role. Like, no shade to Blake, but she wasn't exactly giving Lily Bloom. Besides, there were plenty of other actresses who could have played the role well and actually looked the part. But things got really messy when on-set photos started making their way online. Folks took one look at that orange wig and were like, heck no, the wig was so horrendous that it went viral on Twitter. Some people even said Blake looked like a low-budget Wendy's mascot, and it didn't end there either. During the press tour, Blake made sure to put herself in the spotlight. At some point, she and Justin were basically running two separate press tours. While Justin talked about the movie, Blake talked about more important things, like her hair care line and her alcohol brand, because those are the things you should be talking about when promoting a movie about domestic violence. And don't even get me started on how uncomfortable some of those interviews were, because Blake was always out of pocket.
To run into a celebrity in public, we only have a few moments to maybe speak with you guys, but for people who see this movie, who relate to the topics of this movie on a deeply personal level, they're really going to want to talk to you. This movie is going to affect people, and they're going to want to tell you about their lives. So if someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for my address or my phone number or my location share. Or I could just location share you, and then we could
You could just see the frustration on Brandon Splenner's face. As if things couldn't get any more awkward. Brandon couldn't even muster the energy to say something nice about Blake when he was asked what it was like to work with her.
And I just want people to remember why we made the movie in the first place and what it stands for. And just keeping the focus on that, like that movie meant so much to me.
The tension was out of this world, guys, and you just have to wonder, what really went down behind the scenes to make Brandon so embarrassed to talk about it? But it got even worse. First, when the time for the movie premiere came, Blake focused all the attention on herself while Justin had to watch from the sidelines. Then, she dropped the grab your friends and wear your florals line as if she was advertising some chick flick. And not a movie about domestic violence.
In theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
Oh, and if you thought Ryan was the only one feeling the heat right now, think again, because the industry is also turning on Blake. Blake used to parade herself as a fashion icon and had the press eating out of her hands. But now, it's like nobody is checking for her anymore. Even that little stunt Ryan pulled during SNL's 50th anniversary was just weird.
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey, hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
They didn't find it funny, and after the event, rumors started swirling that many A-listers were distancing themselves from Blake and Ryan. Whatever hold Ryan and Blake had over the industry, it looks like it's fading fast. But do you think this has anything to do with the It Ends With Us scandal? Or is it simply because people are just fed up with them? And what are your thoughts on Denzel roasting Ryan? Sound off in the comments below, and stick around for more videos like this.